Hello, everyone, and welcome once again back to the premier shit talking show, freeform conversation held by two friends that just cannot keep their opinions to themselves. I, of course, am intrepidly leading you here. My name is Trab, joined as always by my co host, the indomitable, the abominable, the vanilla gorilla himself, Mr. Joey J. Fats.
What's happening, dog?
The J stands for juxtaposition, maybe. I don't know.
The J stands for giant. That's what we're going with.
Sure,
Yeah.
we'll go with that. It's more like a Spanish giant. He's like
the-
El Gigante.
It's like the G in GIF. Those people who think it's actually pronounced GIF. You're like, no, it's GIF. It's GIF.
No, it's a GIF.
It stands for graphics. The G in GIF stands for graphics.
Yeah, as in we don't have
Not giraffics.
yeah, we don't have giraffes. We
Yeah.
have
It's not a. Yeah, fuck you.
well,
So we're making up our own rules today. Fuck off.
I mean, we always do, but it is good to be able to, lead off the show not as heavy as we had to last week. That was an anomaly for us to happen, not only as a show, but also as a country. And
Yes, this is usually a jovial, fun, shit talking 60 minutes or 60 plus minutes of fun and nonsense. We generally don't dive into the more serious topics like we did last week. But Trav, I think you did a great job last week of summing up everybody's thoughts and feelings on the Charlie Kirk situation. Granted, it was it was 6 days, or 5 days after or 6 days after we had done our show. Yes, 5 days after we had done our show.
mm-hmm.
But I think you did a great job summarizing it and putting it down last week. So just wanted to give you a little kudos there. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Joey, from you especially, but also from everybody else that commented and reached out otherwise, whether it be a text or what have you, that said, my opening was very well. I'm aware that the opening audio with the Charlie video, it wasn't working. That's my fault. I own responsibility on that. It was a different window I had set up. These are the perils that you go through when you are self-directing and producing a show.
Especially a live show. Yeah.
So there's no way for you
Ask
to
me how
know
I
until
know.
I'm like, shit, my aunt texted, she's like, no audio, and then I get the one from you, and I'm like, fuck, well, I can't do anything about it now.
It's too late. The damage is done.
The audio was working on everything else, thankfully, and to the one person that said, hey, no audio for the first 7 minutes, do better, I addressed them in the comments. I said, hey, this is how it works. But also, sir or madam, you don't have a single upload on your channel, so also fuck you. You don't know what it's like. But thank you for the constructive criticism. It has not gone unnoticed.
It's like to be me.
Yes, but truly thank you to everybody that had reached out and said something nice about my opening remarks. I did spend some time writing that. I never wrote anything for the show before. I felt I've
never written anything, not even my best man speech that I gave.
That should be from the heart.
Actually, technically, it wasn't a best man speech at all because I wasn't the best man.
You were the second
like
best man.
Yeah, so my cousin asked me to give like a speech, like a toast, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah, it was more of a toast. It wasn't a best man speech. It was a toast, but it was more of it ended up being more of a little bit of a speechish toast. And
listen, man, fuck yeah, I don't care what they say about this
yeah,
guy.
I don't care what my uncle says about you, man. You're fucking awesome, all right? Yeah.
Meanwhile, people on the side are like, cut him off, cut him off.
Shut the fucking mic off. Shut the fucking mic off. No, I nailed it. I went totally off the top, and I was told after the fact that it was extremely well done. And I'm not gonna say who said that I upstaged the best man, but I did get a few of those comments. So fuck you, Cade.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch. But no, Cade did a great job.
I'm sure they did.
He did. Yes. So now that everybody is fully aware of a wedding that I gave a speech at that has no involvement or no one has any prior knowledge to, yes, that is today's useless fact of the day. But no, you're right. I don't ever write shit down either. I feel like I should a lot of the times, but I've just got so accustomed of just going off the top and saying what I feel, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Other times it's like it could have been better. But for the most part, I feel like I can get from from here to here pretty
Sure.
well. But I think in this case, writing it all down was the better move because obviously there was a lot to encapsulate there, and you wanted to really drive home the point and drive home the seriousness of the situation and not deprive it of its levity. And I think you did that.
That again, thank you, and that's exactly how I handled it. Like, I've done other things where I've actually called people out that I know personally live, on stream, and that was just off the cuff, coming with what I already knew and what I had planned to say. But this was different. This was like, well, because somebody lost their life ultimately, and I
Yeah.
wanted to do right by them, by his family, and really just kind of driving on home the significance of this. This wasn't just not to say if I did it off the cuff, it would lack significance, but like I think that for that moment, at least the opening, it deserved that level of levity and respect. So that's why I did it. But yeah, again, thank you, everybody that appreciated it and thought.
I think
I did
as the Brits would say, well played, chap.
Oh, spot on.
Or as the Aussies would say, "Oh, nice game, you cheeky cunt."
Yeah. Oi, cunt.
Yeah.
Good
Oi,
on
cunt.
you.
Have you ever watched the Big Les show?
You've told me it. Oh, somebody
Have
else. Oh, actually, my boy Greg, who watches this show, follows it. Told me about it. He's like, "Oh, you don't know about it?"
You
I'm
gotta
like,
watch it, dude. It's so fucking.
he told
funny.
me about it. And I was like, "Yeah, sounds like an Australian version of Aqua Teen or something." Like,
Pretty much. Yeah, that's actually that. Yeah, that about sums it up. But it's fucking hysterical, dude. I watch it. I don't watch like the full episodes. I don't even know if there are full episodes. I just watch the clips of it. But like Sassy the Sasquatch is like the funniest fucking thing. And like, I don't know, dude. It's just you gotta see it and you gotta watch it. Dude. I crack the fuck up at this shit all the time. Like it's just
I
because they're just calling each other cunts all the time, and but with the Australian accent, "Oh, you cunt," and it's like that Admiral Akbar voiceover. It's like it's like I got a fish head, and the Death Star's being a bit of a prick on its way to being a full blown cunt. As it's being constructed, and I don't know. It's just fucking funny as shit to me.
yeah.
That accent fucking makes me laugh every time.
Oh, it's very funny. But yes,
It is.
based
Shane
on
Gillis,
what
Shane Gillis summed it up perfectly in like 9/11. Like, look out, another one.
based on what
Get out.
he has told me and what you've told me and a few other people have, yeah, I definitely should have checked it out a while ago.
Yeah, it's very amusing. It's like I don't know if it's I have like I said I gotta watch it like see I don't know if there's like actual episodes or they just call it the Big Les show like and that's like what they just post like shorts or whatever.
I'm pretty sure they're all short, like
Yeah,
like how the old
90-second
Aqua Teen
clips.
used to be like 11 to 12 minutes
Oh
long.
yeah, something like that. So like I would say it's probably more in like the red versus blue realm of things, but I don't know if they're like that serious about like episodes and seasons and stuff like that. So for those that don't know what red versus blue is, shame on you. Shame on
It's
you.
a very old web series.
It is probably the most well-written thing that the internet has ever produced. Like just for like internet based, like a bunch of guys that were like just in their basement making a show with an Xbox based on Halo.
Like wouldn't this be fun? And then it turns into this giant thing where now
23 seasons later, and they're like,
it has its own lore at that point. It's
Yeah.
like and it's established lore that people
Dude,
follow. It's
like,
wild.
I have a buddy at work that watches it all. That he's a huge fan of it too, and like we'll quote it and reference it all the time. And
It's
no one
still
knows
funny.
what the fuck we're talking about, dude. Everybody's like, "What the?"
Oh
fuck
yeah,
are
if you
guys
don't know, then it just
No.
sounds like
Yeah, it
what
just
did
sounds
that
like
person just say?
Is that guy retarded? Like, we're like, shut
Yeah.
the fuck up. Like, if I
You
die,
wouldn't say
I
that
want
if you
to know.
didn't if you watched the fucking series, you goddamn noob.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking noob.
Get pwned, noob.
Get pwned. Before we dive into, because I know we're gonna get into like the Charlie Kirk stuff, and and then we got some other stuff to get into. I did want to make one quick like. And this is totally off topic. I know we didn't talk about this at all, but I figured this is
Preach,
this
brother.
Is the
Go
place,
ahead.
This is the place for it. The kid I'm playing in my fantasy league, his fantasy team is Stepborough. I'm stuck.
Okay, yeah, I get the reference. Sure.
Yeah. So then it got me thinking, like, why did step porn become like the #1 rated category in all of porn? as like in like the last like 5 years.
Because it's the taboo that isn't necessarily it's not full on incest. It's
Like
step incest.
yeah, like it's stepmom, but it's
So
like
it's
dude, like
or
you're still banging,
stepsister.
you're still banging your dad's wife, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah, or your stepsister.
Yeah,
So
like what are we doing here? Like I don't know. Like,
and the thing is, it's always existed. It's just it didn't really take prominence until, like you said, probably within the last like 5 years for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't get it either.
and then the stuck porn coupled with the step porn just became like a thing. And I know why. Like I know, and what kills me about it is like step porn like does nothing for me in terms of like, oh yeah, like that's hot, like you know what I mean? Like no. But the problem is that like I feel like all the resources go to that category now, so they have all the best porn stars, all the best like production and quality and everything else, and you're like all right, well Ava Angelina's in it, so
Yeah.
I gotta watch it, like fuck, like can I just ignore like the whole premise of what's going on here and just pretend like it's like the neighbor, like it's the pool boy, the old school
Yeah.
shit.
Well,
like,
that's the thing. It requires the least amount of prep in terms of plot, because plot really kind of ran out. It doesn't really mean much anymore in the streaming age.
I still like a good plot to my porn sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not saying
like,
there's anything wrong with it, but it's mostly.
I'll be clicking forward through it sometimes. And I'll be fast forwarding, and I'll be like, like they're already eating ass. I've gone too far. I got to go back. Hold on.
What I'm saying is that's all but nearly gone. Like there is still some with setup, but with that as the premise, you don't need any elaborate different sets. It's just, we're referring to these people as step, either parent or
sibling, right?
Or sibling. And that's it. That just where they are is where they are. It doesn't matter the setting. It's just,
right.
Oh no, or oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
oh no,
how'd your penis get in my butt? Like,
step bro, I'm stuck in the dryer. How am I gonna get out? I have an idea. Zip.
Yeah.
What?
Which I mean, hey, fair enough. But also, it's just ridiculous. But it's because it doesn't matter anymore. There could be a full-on theme with actual stuff, but even then it might be cut short to just be like, okay, well, here's already a girl tied up in like shibari knots. And,
right.
Because that's what we want to see. Like, I really need the full journey. Like, I'll meet you halfway, sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
But I'm saying this is somebody who doesn't even really watch porn. Not that often.
Yeah, I don't have to watch it very often, but every once in a while I like to dive down the rabbit hole and see what the kids are up to these days,
Yeah, to keep up with what's going on, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not constantly thinking about it or watching it or jerking off. It's like, sometimes I'm too tired to jerk off at night. It's just, I had a day. I just got to go to bed.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. I mean, it's just one of those things. So
that just makes the next one all that much better.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean more of a mess to clean up.
Right.
There's more volume involved.
Exactly. It's why it's good to do this daily. Just keep it.
It's good for your heart. Yeah. You should be drinking a glass of red wine and jerking off every day.
I mean, I drink a half a handle of vodka and jerk off and get laid every day. So I got one.
Hey, one man's glass of wine is another man's half bottle of vodka.
Yes, this is true. Exactly. Yeah. We're all degenerates in one way or another. God damn it. But anyway,
so.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say that I just it bums me out because that genre of porn now gets like all the best stars and production quality value and everything else. It's like it's either that or like Blacked or Butt Muse or something like that. And I'm like,
And it is kind of unwarranted because of how truly vanilla it is. It is the laziest thing you can say for a plot, other than just like, hey, we're two people in the same space, occupying the same space together. Let's fuck. It's
that's really what it comes down to. So like, I'm kind of horny and you got big tits. What's up?
Well, it's like the train of thought was like, all right, we've done husband and wife or like cheating spouses.
Yeah.
What's like the next level above that, but also isn't like extreme where it's like, oh no,
What is it gonna? Yeah, what can we do that's not gonna have the feds knocking on our door, wondering like
Step
what else is
siblings
going on?
and step parents. Boom.
Yeah,
Done.
and it's like these people are clearly, actors, paid actors. Like, so it's I know it just gets weird.
Yeah, it's like seeing the casting couch videos, and then you're like, oh, who's that girl? How'd she get roped into this? And then you look up her name, and she has like 50 other videos. It's like, okay, she didn't get dragged to a backroom casting thing, and
she did not have her boyfriend. No. She did not have her boyfriend drop her off for a job interview. That he thought she was, for a talent agency,
right?
For acting in like Hollywood films. Like, no. This is where you start, sweetie.
Yep.
What you don't realize about Hollywood is it is greasy, grimy, and gross, and you must suck a lot of penis before you get to the top.
And now that
is
probably
actually true.
does happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely does to one capacity or another.
Oh, I get it. You're going to get me in your limo, and then you're going to ask me if I want the big part. Then you're going to have to make me, stick a finger inside me. Now I'm all set.
What? No, Gary.
Yeah. Gary, I am not, what do you say? Like, I am not here. I am not here. And I am not going to fuck your mouth.
Yeah. But then he gets on his knees and he sucks that cock.
Now, suck my cock. Huh? Mm-hmm. I'm kidding. Oh, fucking classic.
Yep.
But anyway, so the Charlie Kirk stuff.
Yep. So
just to put to kind of follow up on last week. Obviously, so I was super nervous about the whole memorial thing yesterday. I don't know if I texted you about it or I texted my other buddy about it, but I was super nervous with like that many people of like that many important people in the same place.
Over 200,000 people showed up in total.
I think it was more than that even. I was hearing like rumors of like there was 100,000 in the building, and they were saying there was probably 200,000 outside.
Okay.
So
that wouldn't surprise me either.
They said it was probably closer to 300, but who cares? It's splitting hairs. Like
Yeah.
I know the only person that truly cares about the crowd size of anything is Trump. But it is what it is. But I was super nervous about it. I was like, please God, I'm like, just don't let anything fucking stupid happen here today. Like, somebody fucking, drops a bomb or a cruise missile hits the stadium. Like, I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Like,
or just another shooter, which was
if I was the Iranians or the Chinese, and I'd be like, well, we could simultaneously end this regime, this current administration, and simultaneously send the United States into civil war with one swift hypersonic missile. Doesn't even have to be nuclear. And I was just like, I'm like, if I was going to do it, that's how I would do it. But hopefully, and I believe that probably the United States military has smarter people thinking about this stuff than me. I would hope.
But you would hope.
You would hope. But it's like, it's like some guy from like a think tank in Annapolis, and he's just like, what if? And I'm just spitballing here, and you're like, comes up with like the dumbest idea ever, and you're like, that just might work. We better look into that.
And it's something so stupid. Like, we got to make sure that the aquarium is secure that day because
let me tell you, because there's a jellyfish in that aquarium that's got enough poison in it to kill everybody in that building. And if you detonate that thing at sea level, it will kill everyone. You're like, wait, what? But, like, I mean, my mind always goes back to, like, like, what if there was, like, a VX gas attack? Like, I know that's, like, wicked against, like, every rule ever, but, like, also...
If it's war, is there really any rules?
If I'm Iran or China, am I really worried about playing by the rules?
Yeah, or North Korea for that point matter. Yeah.
North Korea's like, I've had it up to here with your rules.
With your fucking rules.
But when do we get the freaking guns?
Yes. Thankfully, I do believe a suspected shooter was apprehended outside.
Was that the guy that was impersonating the cop?
That, I believe, was somebody else. So, yeah, there was a couple of things that, thankfully,
that was weird.
Didn't
very weird.
Actually formulate to a legitimate threat. But, I mean, it was still posited there by two incidents that were thankfully thwarted by authorities.
I think if like my only real like line of thinking on that too was like all right, like let's say something did happen, right? Like let's say some fucking weirdo showed up, like that loser in New Hampshire that showed up to the wedding and started yelling "Free Palestine" and just like shooting into the crowd.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, like how bad would that make the left look at this point? Like if they attacked a funeral, like a you know what I mean, like a memorial service for a guy who was assassinated in cold blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point are you going to start to lose the? I mean, the left is already losing the hearts and minds battle.
I mean, it started before Kirk.
Long, it's right. They've been losing it since like I mean, honestly, the biggest indictment on you can see them losing it was November. This past November.
Yes.
But with the Kirk thing and everything else, I mean, even like the transgender shit, everything else is coming to a head. And they were losing the hearts and minds battle now for a long time. But then with Charlie Kirk, I think they really I think that was like I don't want to say the final straw that broke the camel's back, but it's pretty fucking close, because I have like I think we talked about last week. I have a lot of people that I know personally that are like, dude, fuck this. Like I voted Democrat all the time. Fuck them, dude. They're crazy. Like this is I'm all set.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're coming over to the other side and they're saying like, yeah, this isn't as bad as everybody was telling me it was supposed to be. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Like, what do you think we've been trying to tell you? Like, what do you think? We're a fucking bunch of like evil assholes? Like, you guys killed Charlie Kirk. Not one fucking Foot Locker got robbed. Not one city was set on fire. Not one riot, no violent riot or anything.
Yeah.
But a cop, a guy overdoses of fentanyl in police custody, and you guys just lose your shit for 6 months. And
career criminal, by the way.
Yeah, career criminal. And did you ever watch The Fall of Minneapolis, by the way, the documentary on that whole thing?
I don't believe I did.
It's a great watch. And there's multiple segments where they show body camera footage of the police of fucking fentanyl face there, George Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Where they show him getting like walked up, like a cop will come up and like knock on the window. And he rolls the window down and immediately starts like the pouty face with the water, with the tears, like, oh man, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm just having a bad day, man. Like, my mama just died, man. Like, this, that. And it's like, he says the same thing over 3 years. And as somebody who deals with career criminals all the time, every day, like, that is, to me, like, you are so guilty when you start the sob story, when you start off with the sob story. Like, I don't know. I encourage anybody who has.
You're immediately deflecting and trying to.
Just trying to play on the emotions of the person. Yep. You're just trying to. You're trying to gain the emotional upper hand here and make the guy feel bad for you. Be like, oh man, I'm sorry. I mean, I can't mention his name obviously, but I had one particular con that he was such an opportunist, and he knew like we liked him, and by liked him I mean like within the context of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just, but he would play that card all the time. Oh man, like my back's really hurting today, man. Like, do you mind if like, because we have certain rules and things in places, when you can and can't go. And oh man, like, do you mind, like, my back hurts today? Like, man, I just got off the phone with my mom's, man. I got some bad news, man. My cousin got killed, man. I just need to use the phone. Like, you mind if I hop on real quick? Like, all right, dude. Like, like we get it. Like, we know you're full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But also like, yeah, but we kind of like this guy because he kind of does some good for us within the within the scope of what we do. So we'll let him slide.
Give him
it's just wicked fucking annoying. Yeah, it's just wicked annoying because you're like, I know you're lying to me. You don't need to lie. And he's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna lie because then he's like, if anybody asks, you can just tell them that I told you that, and then you don't have to worry about it. And I'm like, yes,
now I'm lying.
But now plausible deniability is a thing, and I can just sit there and say, like, nope, that's not what he said. This is what he told me. Like,
yeah.
But it's just a game you play. But anyway, the George Floyd thing, highly recommend it. The Fall of Minneapolis. I think it's on. I think you can find it on either YouTube or Rumble, or both, maybe, whatever. And
I'll look
it
it
is.
up now.
It is a great look into what actually happened with the George Floyd riots. In the summer of love. It
appears to be on YouTube.
Yeah. And it makes obviously like George Floyd was a career criminal piece of fucking shit. Like there is no two ways about it. Anybody who defends him otherwise is just either being obtuse or they're incompetent. But nonetheless, he was a human shitbag. Like the guy he didn't belong in polite society, if you will. And that's coming from me, somebody who likes to call people faggots and retards all the time. Like
in retarded faggots.
And retarded faggots, retarded fish frogs. But like he was a shitbag and a half. And so this gives you kind of like a good look into what a shitbag he truly was, in my opinion. And if you can't see it, and like for somebody like me who deals with these people every day, it's like nails on a chalkboard listening to this guy start with the sob stories. I'm like, oh my God, shut the fuck up, you fucking bitch. Like, like it drives me nuts, dude. Drives me fucking nuts.
And as somebody who deals with these people on a daily basis, I'm sure you're like, oh Jesus, this same spiel again.
It's the same, and they all have the same rhetoric, dude. It's the same. They all play the same card, dude. It's so pathetic. And they think it works, which is the worst part, which I think is the actual insulting part. I'm like, no, that's not working on me. Sorry. Nope, you're not getting this one over. No. Sorry,
maybe it does on certain rookies here and there. I mean, it has to have worked once for it to still be employed.
And certain vets, who've been down for a long time and just don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like it can work. Don't get me wrong, it can be effective, but it is just incredibly frustrating to have to watch. But these people, they sit there and they defend it, and they love George Floyd. And they want to, fire people and whatever. They're like, no, fuck these people. They're like, no. This guy was an asshole. But yeah, watch The Fall of Minneapolis. It's a great watch.
I will check it out.
I think it's like 90 minutes long. It's not too long.
I have it brought up on my.
But it's well worth it.
Yeah, hour 42.
Hour 40. Oh yeah, like I said, about an hour and a half. So
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
as long as it's got good stuff, info in it, and intriguing talking point, I'm in.
Yeah, I thought it was. I felt like it was pretty good. It was pretty well done for something that didn't get a lot of obviously it wasn't going to get a lot of fanfare because obviously the national media is not keen on bringing that to light. But
of course,
it is what it is.
It certainly is. And
but yeah. Sorry.
No, that's fine, dude. I appreciate the recommendation. I'll let you know what I think next time we talk.
Yes, I look forward to that. Actually, I look forward to what your response to it is, because again, I feel like there's a lot of information in there that even people that are on our side about this whole thing don't know. And when you see it, like if you showed that to somebody who was neutral, like I have a friend of that, a buddy of mine, a coworker that I worked with, that thought Derek Chauvin should have lost his job. He's like, Floyd was an asshole. This and that. He goes, but that dude should have lost his job. And I was like, really? And we ended up having like a pretty great debate over it. And I think ultimately at the end, he ended up seeing it how I saw it. And especially, because him, being in the same job as I was, I'm like, dude, that could have been any one of us.
Yeah.
I said he wasn't targeted for poor practice or poor execution. No pun intended. He was targeted politically because he was the face of what they were trying to push. I said, this man's going to be, he's fighting for his life in prison every day because the court of public opinion judged him before he ever got in front of a jury. And there was no way in hell a jury was going to acquit him, especially one in Minnesota.
Yeah. And especially not during that climate too.
No, that was during that was the peak of the defund the police, get rid of the cops bullshit nonsense. And
he was the face that they were going against the most. He was the guy.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, I'm the first one to call out crooked cops. I mean, we did the whole Karen Reed trial together. We talked about it a bunch on this.
Yes.
And I'll be the first one to tell you, like, if I see a crooked cop that's not doing what they should be doing, fuck them. See you later. Like, get lost. You can beat it. You have a certain threshold that you need to meet in order to be able to uphold the law and do it in a way that's fair and honest. And when you lose that, I'm sorry, but I can't trust you, and I won't trust you.
Especially somebody in a power position like that. Yeah, It complete abuse of it. is what it is.
Exactly. Abuse of power is to me one of the scummiest things you can do. I don't give a shit if you're abusing your power of being a commissioner of a flag football league. I still think that's a piece of shit move. And I know people that have done that before and still do it, and do it regularly. And I'm like, and I
the
think
Minnesota Twins Little League team.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me started.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, luckily for me, I had Mr. DeCambra as my coach, and boy, did he hate the Minnesota Twins. So.
He had something to say to Mr. Texera.
Oh yeah, don't worry. He had something to say, and albeit we didn't win very often, but man, did we play them hard. Harder than they played us, I can tell you that.
I respect the shit out of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Mr. DeCambra was the fucking man. It was him and Dougie Fresh, Cole Thatcher's dad, where our head coach.
Oh, no shit.
Year.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it was like me, Cole Thatcher was on my, obviously, Cole was our stud ace pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
He was a machine, dude, back in the day. Like, we knew Cole was on the mound. I'm like, I played right field, not because I was getting buried. I was actually good at right field. That's why they put me there, because I had a fucking hand cannon. But, I wasn't the fastest kid, most athletic kid back in those days, but I could read a ball and I could get underneath it. So
sure.
I was pretty decent. But when Cole was on the mound, I'd be like, dude, I'm just going to leave my glove in the dugout, bro. Like, see you later. Like, the only way anybody's getting a piece of this one, it's not getting out of the infield if they do.
Yeah, it'll be a chopper to like second or shortstop or something.
Yeah, and we had Cole, we had Tommy Alphonse, rest in peace. My brother was a great was actually a good pitcher, really good pitcher for us. My boy Ben, the Athade brothers were on my team too at one point.
Okay, yeah.
The Mets, we were on the Mets, dude. It was fun times. And Kyle DeCambra, obviously, his dad was the coach. I know I'm leaving out probably a bunch of people that I know that would probably be pissed off at me if I not remember my brother being one of them. But Kyle's dad, Mr. DeCambra, fucking hated the Twins, man. Whenever we played the Twins, and it would always suck when like Avery was starting when we would play him. We're like, God damn it! Like. Well, now we got to fucking figure out a way to manufacture a run because we're not getting a fucking hit because Avery would just come up and be like, hey, you guys ever seen a slider before? And we're like, what the fuck's a slider? He's like, check this out. We're like, the fuck am I supposed to hit that?
Yeah, I'm 13 and I'm throwing like an 87 mile an hour slider.
I can't even hit a meatball straight down the fucking pipe half the time. You want me to hit something that moves? Like, are you out of your mind?
We consider a curveball a fastball that the pitcher like released awkwardly. Like,
yeah, exactly. There was like 3 or 4 good pitchers. Like Jalbert had a hand cannon.
Chucky also on the Twins.
Chucky Bruce, was it Chucky Bruce? Was that his name? His last name Bruce.
Oh, there was Chip Bruce, and then there was Chucky.
Chucky, I can't remember what Chucky's last name was, but yes, I remember Chucky.
He threw heat. Chucky threw straight gas. I remember having to being told by my coaches, hey, do you mind leaning in to get on base? And I'm like, all right. And it hit me like right on the hip.
Jalbert used to terrify me. Going up against Jalbert was terrifying. Because he was so much taller, so he looked huge on the mound.
And
he was
lanky,
taller than all of us anyway. And dude, he could throw fucking gas, but there was a good chance like one was going to get away from him at some point, and you were going to take it off the fucking shoulder or the ass. And you're like, oh god damn it, please just fucking don't miss. And you're like, god damn it, like I don't want to die tonight. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And then PJ Brum obviously could throw a he had a slider and a curveball in his arsenal too, not to the level of Avery obviously, but yeah, it was we had some fucking talent in that league at that point, and I'm sure there's been more that's come through there, but. Dude, when you think back to like some of the kids that we had that were like, and how hard it is to be good at baseball, like we had some pretty good fucking players, dude. Like in Dartmouth, it's kind of wild when you think back to it.
Yeah, we certainly did, especially during that time.
I feel like we were loaded with pitching talent.
There seemed to be like a way more better pitching than there was like standout hitters, and actually in some cases. The better hitters were also some of the best pitchers too.
Yeah, the guys that could play both ways were good. Like Cole was he was our do everything stud on our team.
Mm-hmm.
He could hit, he could pitch, he could field, he could do everything. There was nothing he couldn't do. And it was always like I was I was a decent hitter. Actually, I got pretty good at hitting. And I was a decent fielder. My biggest strength was I had a right hand from God when it came for a baseball, and that was about it. And then you know, do you remember? Did you ever get hit by a pitch in Little League?
Yes.
Do you remember the first?
Dude, that was kind of my thing. I was.
Is that it? You were the one that leaned into it, like, "Hey, Dorn, we need you to take one."
Well, I was a decent contact hitter.
Yeah.
But also a very small strike zone, and I'd draw a lot of walks, but also I'd be the one that be asked to, like I just said, hey, yeah, we know Chucky's pitching, but do you mind getting on base?
Yeah, any way you can.
And I was fast, so I could, steal a base or two. I wasn't great at stealing, but at least get me on, and then sometimes they'd pinch run for me.
We got in a position one night. We couldn't. I forget what it was. But we couldn't. They needed me to steal second. Somehow, some way, they needed me to get on second base. Like we needed a runner and score.
Like, come on, Dave Roberts.
Yeah, I was like too slow to score from first, like to go first to home, even if it was like a wall ball double. Like you know what I mean? Like I was still gonna get stuck at third probably. And so they needed me to get to second base. Like we need you to steal, and I'm like, and I literally laughed. I was like, "You're funny," and they're like, "No, seriously, you're gonna go right here, go." And when I tell you to go, go. And I'm like. You're fucking joking, right? And they're like, no, seriously, like we need this, like we need to win this game, and we need you to get there. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be ugly.
Well, you asked for it.
They asked for it. I attempted to deliver. My fat ass goes sliding in head first into second base, about 3 feet from the bag, which it was like a beached whale going by the bag. And I ended up like 4.5 feet past second base and being tagged out. But there was like a whale had just like dropped from space into the gravel, and there's like this whole fucking like,
and then kind of
just see the path through the gravel like to second base. And my coaches are like trying not to laugh, and I'm like, I don't know what you guys thought was gonna happen here. Like, I ain't it, bro. And like the whole dugout's dying laughing, and I'm like, fuck you guys. I was like, why? And for some reason they couldn't pinch run for me. I forget because I think they wanted the kid who was gonna pinch run for me was like due up, and he was a good hitter. So like, they didn't want to take him out of the lineup to run or whatever. Like I forget what the fuck the situation was. But everybody's dying laughing, dude. And I'm just like, all you can just see is like this, like just where my chest just carved out this fucking groove, like going well past second base, like into like basically into fucking left field, and everybody's just like, you didn't even have to slide, you could have gone in standing up. And I was like, well, I didn't know that, I wasn't looking. I'm like, I got this helmet that's too big, it's bouncing around, like I can't.
I'm thinking shit. I'm Pete fucking Rose over here.
I'm like, I just know that when you go into second, you always supposed to slide in head first, because one time I tried sliding into third feet first, and I thought I was going to get cut from the team. The way my coach yelled at me, which, I mean, I love Doug. He was the best, but he was good friends with my parents, so he wasn't afraid to tell me I sucked when I sucked,
right?
And which was good because I needed that. Mm-hmm. But it was just so fucking funny, dude. What a disaster! It was so fucking hilarious. Like I can't fucking still to this day fucking die laughing every time I think of that, because I'm just like, oh my god. That was the worst slide in the history of slides. Like the only thing that would have been worse is if I slid and came up like 4 feet short. Like I went to slide and just stopped in the mud. Like it was like,
yeah, and then decided to lay out and lunge for the bag. And
yeah. And
you're halfway between first and second.
But you've been tagged out fucking 15 minutes ago, and like, what are you doing?
You're just laying there face down in the
covered in dirt. Now your uniform's all dirty. I'm like, fuck, now I gotta wash it. Probably had some fucking popsicle stains on there anyway, but whatever.
Like, oh shit, what does he have to say for himself? And all you hear is,
yeah. Yeah.
All right, get him off the field. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Hit the showers, will you? But anyway, yes. Speaking, but going back to abuses of power, the Minnesota Twins definitely did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I love how I just mentioned one thing, and then that turned into like 5 minutes of us reminiscing about DYAA baseball.
DYAA baseball and basketball was the best, dude. It was so much fun.
It was
Like
fun.
I'm glad is like I think it was like junior year of high school when I was playing DY double basketball, and my brother got to play with me for the first time because he was finally in high school, so we were in the same league. And
Age range, yeah.
we played with Rondo and Ronnie were our coaches. And
Oh shit.
yeah, it was awesome. It was fucking awesome, dude. Best fucking 2 years ever. And I think it was like junior year of high school, and I remember being like, damn man, like I'm gonna miss the shit out of this someday because it is gonna be really hard to get people together to like show up on like a Tuesday night and play fucking 4 quarters of basketball. You know, like when you get older, like you're gonna have a job, you're gonna have this, and like
Yeah.
and then you get older and you realize like, yeah, that shit's fleeting. And you're like, and you give anything to go back to have that, where everybody had to show up. Everybody had to be there because their parents paid for it, so they were being forced. Like whether you wanted to go or not, you were going.
Yeah, there was forced accountability with the payment being part of it for sure.
And it was so much fun because you had to have but you had referees, a scoreboard, a gym full of parents and people cheering and watching.
It's an actual sporting event. It's not just a pickup game. It's
right. Like you could play a men's league at Burgos, but fucking ain't nobody there to watch you. Like, you know what I mean? You might get lucky if your girlfriend would go and like show up and be like, "Yay, my boyfriend had 10 rebounds and 2 points. Good for him."
No, there's pomp and circumstance with these events, and people that are there and legitimately care about what's going on.
Yeah, so. And they were invested in it, you know, because it was their kids most of the time, you know, and it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I love it. It was such good times, man. And like between Mr. Steele and everybody that did, you know, ran DYAA, like they did such a fucking awesome job and did such a service to that town and us. It was as kids. It was, I'll never forget it, and I love it. It was some of my favorite memories come from that.
Oh, I agree. Regardless of how crooked some of the structure of it may have been due to
that seemed like it was only in baseball, though. I don't know why. I don't know why the baseball side like just
because
I never team ever.
I was never good enough at basketball to play on any team, so I didn't do that. But I did play on the Pee Wee football league team. Yep. But that's all the same. It's just one team. It's Dartmouth versus everybody else. It's not a Dartmouth league made up of different teams within itself. So
right. It was the whole.
Then
town.
It's like, well, it's just exactly.
And we needed the whole town because we were going up against New Bedford and Wareham and Fall River and
where they had much bigger populations in some cases and also much bigger kids.
I remember we played Attleboro freshman year of high school in football, and Coach Cadger just being like, "Just remember, these guys have been shaving since about the time they were about 6 years old." And we were like, "Wait, what?" And then we went into their house and smoked them. It was awesome, but that was freshman year. Then you get to varsity, and things didn't go as well when you played Attleboro. But their freshman team was ass. But that's because all the good kids were already on varsity. So.
Yep, that also makes sense. Absolutely.
So, but anyhow, watch that documentary, and
will do. Again, the name of it is The Fall of Minneapolis.
Yes.
For anyone else interested.
It is a fantastic watch. But did you want to talk? We talked a little Kirk. Do you want to talk a little bit? Because obviously we usually do a South Park review of the new episode, which is now being every other week.
Mm-hmm. And we've gotten used to that format.
I don't know if I've gotten used to it. I don't like it. I'll tell you that much.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying I got used to the fact that, okay, they're going to take an extra week to be able to, craft something a little bit more in depth based on what happened.
Yeah.
Gives them more time.
I was okay with it. I don't like it, but I'm okay with it. How does that make sense?
Because absolutely.
Like as long as the product
a weekly
still delivers, the way it did. But I always felt like the way they did it was the whole reason what made South Park funny and genius was that they did it in 6 days. They didn't need 2 weeks or, 2 months to make an episode. Like they could do it in 6 days from like, we've got a blank storyboard to a fully animated, fully produced episode that's going to go live on cable television. Like,
full 22-minute show.
Yeah, like that was always amazing to me. And now they've gone to the every other week, we're going to do it. And even Matt and Trey had said in the past, like they never intended for it to be a 1 week thing. It was never like they planned it like, okay, this is how we're going to do this show and this is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
It
and
just started. It just happened that way
because
and
they were
ran.
able to, and they didn't do not every episode was done like that. It took them a while to reach the point technologically wise where they could make that a possibility.
Right.
So before that, it's not like they were doing it all along. But once they did, they really did run with it, and
Sure.
I think they kind of got burned out on it to a degree.
And and I'm all fine with artists like switching up their shit so that they don't hit the burnout phase and they don't become
keep it
stale and
fresh.
stagnant. Do what you got to do to keep it fresh. So like, and I have the utmost trust and faith in Matt and Trey, probably more than anybody in Hollywood or in show business, if you will. At this point, like other than maybe Mike Judge, I think Mike Judge is probably the only one that's like hitting on the levels that Matt and Trey are right now, or has for the last 10, 15 years. But
I can agree with that.
Family Guy has been very like hit or miss. Like,
yeah, I haven't really cared about that show in over a decade. It is what it is.
It's still very funny. Like I still watch the new episodes and I still laugh. But when they have a miss, like when an episode misses or it's not that good, it's like, ugh. Like it makes the misses hurt. Like the misses hurt way more. Whereas South Park, I feel like rarely if ever missed. I can honestly say, I don't think South Park has ever missed. In all of my years of watching South Park, I can't name one episode where I'm like, that episode was kind of ass.
Yeah, like a really ugly strikeout.
Yeah, there's never been one. Like, depending on who you talk to, people talking about this season so far will tell you that this has been all strikeouts so far. But again, I feel like, and that's kind of brings me to this point, because obviously, so we would do the review right now.
Mm-hmm.
But Travis, you and I both know South Park missed the deadline on Wednesday. So
yes,
something they've never done. They've never ever once missed a deadline for a show where they couldn't come up with something in time to get it on the air, because of that 6-day format, or in this case, call it 13-day format that they use.
Mm-hmm.
They've never missed a deadline for air. And that was famously showcased in the documentary 6 Days to Air.
Yeah.
When they lost power, they brought in backup generators. Like, they did all this shit so they could make sure that they got the episode to Comedy Central by the 10 a.m. Pacific deadline or whatever it was.
And they made it happen.
And they did. And that was, I believe, it was one of the Goth Kids episodes. I can't remember exactly which one off the top of my head, and I should, because that's a great, easy trivia question layup. It was definitely a Goth Kids episode.
I believe that to be true. I can't remember specifically.
Was it the vampire?
It might have been that one.
The vampire, where they burned down the Hot Topic.
That's possible. Let me see.
Damn, I can't believe I don't know this off the top. This is Trav. This is you and I, of all people, should have this one. Like,
yeah, we went toe to toe and tied in South Park trivia.
Yeah, I still owe you a gift card to Sail Off.
That's right, and I still have that bag of beater golf balls for you.
Yeah,
which was unrelated, but I still have them for you.
Nice. Because I know the episode featured a lot of clips from them making the Human Centipede episode, but I don't think that was the episode that they were actually working on that particular week when the power went out and they almost missed the deadline, but they didn't.
Right. All I'm seeing right now for South Park episodes that were delayed is the most recent one. The one that would have happened on Wednesday. Goth Kids. The Dawn of Posers.
Yes, Dawn of Posers. It was the Goth Kids. Yep.
Season 17.
Yep.
It was postponed. It was only postponed for a week. They're saying, power outage led to the missed deadline. So that was a technical thing. That wasn't even because
of that.
Something big happened that may or may not have played into a thread of where they are with the current season. In this case, I do believe that to be true.
The deadline, right?
That's not to say I think they were gonna have Cartman be Charlie Kirk, or even them have them reference Charlie Kirk at all. It's just this was a very politically themed season so far. I think it still will be. It's just I think they were like, oh, well, this is such a big thing that just happened. We might need to pull the reins back here and just kind of reassess our direction with it. I don't think they're gonna do anything too different from what they originally thought. But then again, we'll probably never know that for sure.
I have a couple of theories in terms of what I think might be.
Go for it.
What might happen? So obviously we've seen the first 4 episodes of the season so far. 3 of them have been all 4 of them have been very one-sided, right? Like they've been going after Trump, with him and with Satan and JD Vance and Kristi Noem and everything else. Like it's been very it's been very one-sided so far. Which and again, we've said it, we've talked about every single episode so far. Still very funny.
I'm laughing
very
at it.
Funny. I find it hilarious. Like I think especially like we said, I think early one of the early episodes when Trump is having the artist like draw him and all these things with his tiny pecker.
Yeah.
And like it's like him like this like on top of a tank like shooting.
Yeah.
But like with his tiny penis, and I'm like, I want that in my basement. Like, where do I get
a bunch of those pictures? I'm like, I need them on every wall of my office right here. Like,
like I mean, this is art gold right here. Like, and I want all of this, and I want all of it now. But not to say it hasn't, but it's been very one-sided. They did the Charlie Kirk episode, obviously, which was very, which was infamous for Charlie Kirk loving it and leaning into it and thinking it was absolutely hilarious. And he was right, it was. And like every good person, like every person who has a sense of humor, they can take things in stride, especially if you're being mocked or made fun of by a show that is as much prestige and length and notoriety as South Park.
He understood that. He took it as an honor. And also, what they did with him wasn't like super mean-spirited. It was just funny. Like
no, they just did him. I mean,
yeah.
they took what he said verbatim. And then, but he's got the water bottle with the cap and the thing and the mannerisms and
he said they nailed that too. They're like, holy shit, you guys even had the water bottle thing down,
dude. And now even my dad said that. My dad watched that episode and was like, dude, they even did the water bottle. It was fucking great. And I'm like,
I thought the same thing when I saw it. I was like, holy shit, he does do that all the time.
He does, and it's wicked funny because it's one of his little like ticks that he has. You know what I mean? Like his tells or ticks, if you will. But my thing is this, right? I just find it odd in a lot of ways that we have a season that has so far been super heavy political, seemingly more to one side. But again, I'm willing to see the season through to the end to see where they're going with it, because as we've talked about every single time we've done a South Park episode, there's usually a head fake involved. It usually isn't going the way you think it's going. And then at the end it gets and then boom, they give you the punchline and you're like, I had no idea that was coming.
Yeah, the entire season was a punchline, and was the lead up, and here's the punchline at the end.
Right. And they've done that before, and they've also done it where the episode, they'll show you the preview and you think it's going to be about one thing, and then it's like that's like a quick snippet and a reference, and then the whole episode's about something completely different. So I find it extremely odd that first off they get paid whatever $1.5 billion
again
from Paramount. Again. They get paid over $1 billion to keep producing the show.
Yep.
Then they go to an every other week format, which again I'm not upset about, but I get if it means a better polished product, I'm all for it. They change the format of it. Then they go to and then they lean pretty heavily to one side, ripping on one side for the first 4 episodes, which again funny, not mad about it. I think it's been great. I think they've made fun of Trump better than anybody has made fun of Trump yet. And I think that's good. And then we get the Charlie Kirk episode. Then Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, and suddenly they miss a deadline. Something they've never done before, unless like you said, there was outside interference, like a power outage where they literally couldn't animate because they couldn't power the building in order to, use the computers to draw the show.
Yeah.
I know 1.5 billion, like $1 billion is a lot of money, right? And
Sure is.
at what point can someone be bought? And I'm not saying that they are, or I'm not even, I don't even want to almost suggest that they've been bought. But at what point do they have someone like pulling the strings for them? And was this an internal struggle that led to them, kind of being, more how do I say them being more adamant about like, no, we want to go forward with this episode, and the powers that be saying like, no, we're not doing this. Like, was there a follow-up about Charlie Kirk coming up, and they were like going to continue with the Charlie Kirk thing, and they're like, no, people are getting fired for this right now, we're not doing it. And they're like, no, we don't shy away from that. Like, we do everything. Either everything's okay or nothing's okay. And they're like, no, we just paid you $1 billion. You're going to do what the fuck we tell you. You know what I mean? Like, so I think I'm kind of stuck on the fence about, like, because again, like I said earlier, I have the utmost faith in Matt and Trey to deliver, a product that they believe is good and what they believe in, and do it the way that they believe it should be done, which is everything's on the table. But also, I'm not stupid enough to think that $1.5 billion isn't enough money to, potentially control somebody.
Everything you just brought up right now is fucking valid and interesting, and also a perspective that I don't think I considered fully because of the money. The way I would see it in terms of them already having the money is they would just be like, well, we already have the money, but I don't know how the contract is structured and blah, blah, blah. Okay, they signed for another 1.2 to 1.5 billion. But how are they getting that? It's probably like annuities, yearly salary over X amount of years.
Yeah, like, and to what point, like, could they be, could they do what they did to the guy from Rick and Morty? Where they're like, well, oh, you don't want to go along with this? Oh, turns out you molested kids 30 years ago. Like,
well,
no,
I mean, all the evidence kind of shows that he did.
What? Like, right, I know, but like, you know what I mean? Like, could they make something up? You know what I mean? Because like, well, I don't think the guy molested kids. I think he was a weirdo to begin with.
Well, I watched a thing that showed pretty goddamn good damning evidence against him.
Really?
Like with like witnesses being interviewed and like.
Oh shit! Okay, I didn't see that. Then yeah, fuck that guy. Then
I'll look that up. But
again,
still,
it still killed Rick and Morty. Like, it's not the same show. It's not as good anymore.
It isn't, and now that hasn't happened here at all yet.
Not yet. But again, I'm wondering, like, was $1.5 billion enough for them to be like, okay, we need you to go after Trump? Like, we need you to really go after Trump. And they were like, well, we don't want to do that. And they're like, well, you're gonna. We just paid you $1.5 billion. Like, is somebody else pushing a narrative behind them? You know what I mean? Like,
it's possible. I mean, I'd love to still think that it is Trey and Matt's vision and their writers.
I do too.
Just being like, hey, this is where we're going with it right now, and now something major just happened, and they don't know what to do with it. Like,
right,
because of the current political temperature. Like, they're like, and we're in the middle of a very one-sided leaning season, one way or another. Shit, how do we? You got to read the room. How do we, go forward with this in the way that we already wanted to, but maybe have to change some things because they had something else in mind that now might reflect on what happened in one way or another. And also they have to be worried about the free speech thing. Not that they should be canceled for it. Neither should have Kimmel, but he didn't say. But he straight up lied. Well, and also he didn't get fired. He was suspended indefinitely. But we can get into that.
We'll get into that in a second because I got some pretty big thoughts on that as well. And
but
I don't
as far
think
as Matt
and think they are.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure I already know. But as far as Matt and Trey goes, I think they just like everybody else, was completely caught off guard by what happened, and had to really reassess the trajectory of the season going forward, probably. So we won't know for sure until we see the next new episode, which hopefully happens this Wednesday.
It
We'll
won't.
see.
It's next Wednesday. They won't do it
Okay.
this Wednesday because they're not scheduled for this Wednesday. It's scheduled for next Wednesday already, and they already said it won't be till whatever, October.
So
5th,
they're
I think
taking
it is.
2 weeks off this time.
Yeah, so basically it's going to be a month between episodes.
Essentially.
You
Yeah.
know, so it'll be 4 weeks because they miss one because they take 2 weeks in between. They miss one, so you got 4 weeks between episodes. So it's I don't know. It makes me wonder, Trav, because again, this is a show that we have. The thing that made South Park great, one of the things that made South Park great, was how we could rely on it every single Wednesday.
Yeah.
We knew they were building an episode in 6 days. We knew they were Thursday morning they were starting from scratch. Unless you had the occasional, they did have the a couple bank episodes, that they would do ahead of time so that if they did have a severe case of writer's block or something happened, they would have an episode to air and they wouldn't the airwaves wouldn't go quiet. But we've become so reliant, so accustomed, I should say, to them being so reliable and so dependable, and still maintaining that level of humor throughout it. That to me, when I see something like this, and I'm like, okay, in a vacuum, them missing a deadline is not the craziest thing in the world. But when you add in the fact that they did a Charlie Kirk episode, the third episode of the season was the Charlie Kirk episode. 3 weeks later, he gets shot and killed. Then they miss an episode while they have 13 days to prepare for one, which is, twice the amount of time that they're used to doing it in.
Yeah.
So you give them twice the amount of time to prepare for an episode and make an episode. Charlie Kirk gets killed, and then suddenly they miss a deadline. I don't know. It just something doesn't seem. Something's not adding up to me. The math ain't math in here. And
when we talked about this earlier, you had just kind of mentioned this to me in text, so I'm not getting the full context of we're not having a conversation like we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm hearing you saying all of that and putting it the way you are, it's kind of putting that shadow of doubt in my mind, at least a little bit. It's making me think about it.
And you kind of have to, right? Because again, we've grown so accustomed to this being, just something we know. South Park is going to be on Wednesdays. We know they're gonna have a new, fresh episode that is going to be, I always used to love the election episodes every 4 years. They would do an election episode, and I remember the year Obama won in 2008. And they had
it was an event.
Speech. They had his speech down to the letter. Like they did it that day. And I know in 2016 they had their whole episode planned out, and then Trump won, and they had to change everything. And that was fucking funny.
And that's how we got Garrison as Trump. Yeah,
exactly. And it became hilarious. But they did so good with it. So to me, I don't know. To me, them missing a deadline, that's a red flag to me. Let me just put it that way. That's a red flag that something else is going on behind the scenes, and we're not seeing it. We're not privy to it. We might never be. But I feel like that there might be something bigger at work here than just them missing a deadline because, we had an episode, and then because it's not like, because they still had 7 days from the day Charlie Kirk got shot. They had 7 days to produce an episode, which is something they've done a billion times. So I don't know, were they too far along in the episode, or maybe they had already done the bank episode, and they were like, all right, this is what we'll air. We're already done. We'll take next week off, and then we'll come back and regroup and start for the next one.
Right.
And then Charlie Kirk gets shot, and they're like, oh, fuck, we can't air this episode. But we already gave everybody the week off, so fuck.
That's what made me at least initially think, that event derailed that episode. But now that you told me that they're taking an additional week off, now I also have to think on your side with your theory of, are they being influenced by the network in this case? And if that is happening, that would be the first time I would know of this happening to them, other than very early in their career, before they're already well established. And
I have to wonder too, like, were they gonna go hard in the paint after like Candace Owens or or Tucker Carlson or somebody who's been like, super anti-Israel lately, and like, you know what I mean, like, or were they gonna do like a Palestine thing? Like, I don't know, like,
we're not gonna know.
we're not, and we'll never know, because again, like, I want to know, like, all right, like, you missed the deadline, but also, like, what did you have already? Like, you had to have had something. You know what I mean? Like, you had to have had something that you had already kind of been working on. What was that something? And I know, like, we'll never know, probably. Not for years anyway. But it just makes me wonder, because again, these guys have been, they went after Muhammad not went after, but they did a Muhammad episode when they said they weren't allowed to do a Muhammad episode of the Charlie Hebdo thing. They did the cartoon wars. That was a whole Muhammad thing. They did Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise gets semen on his back, and you can't, the goo and all that shit.
They took on Scientology. Yeah,
Scientology. Like, they've gone after every cult that there has been, and I'm just wondering if this is more something to do with like somebody else having a say in what they do now. Or is it them, or maybe, and here's the thing, maybe, and I'll just throw this out there too. Maybe they just had nothing. Maybe they got so derailed by the Charlie Kirk thing, because maybe they didn't hate Charlie Kirk. Maybe they loved Charlie Kirk. And they did an episode, and they did Charlie Kirk in their episode, and they thought it was funny and kind of like a nod to him. And it was like, hey, man, like, we satirized you, but we like you. You're cool. Like, keep doing what you're doing, kind of thing. And maybe it derailed their office just the same. Maybe there was some internal struggling. Maybe the people that work there, the animators, the people that do all the shit, like, were at odds over whether or not they, the episode should be done. Kind of like with Isaac Hayes and Scientology. Like,
right.
This has been, there's a lot of shit right now that's going on that's highly divisive, and it's separating people on either side. Maybe their workforce was divided on it. Maybe people said like, hey, you do this episode, we're walking out. Like, I'm not doing it. And who knows? I mean, those people can all be replaced, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, that's going to set you back a week. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope nobody's controlling them creatively. I don't think that's the case, because I honestly believe that they are secure enough financially where they don't have to care. They've often said that, like, we could stop doing South Park tomorrow and I'll still be fabulously rich and it won't matter. Like, the show has made me fuck you money, and I'm cool with that. Like,
and
I never
they
thought
own Casa Bonita. They own other things that.
Yeah, they're like they're already like, I never thought I would get this rich off of doing that stupid Christmas animated Christmas card, and here I am. Like, how much more do I really need? You know what I mean? So they're like, I could stop doing the show tomorrow and it wouldn't matter. And with them, there is no show without them. So maybe they're. So I have to believe. I'm inclined to believe that they are not being controlled creatively, or being told what they can and can't put on the air, because again, that flies in the face of everything they've stood for 27 years.
Yep.
But also, it's kind of hard to not see it like, yeah, like, okay, but yeah, $1.5 billion, still $1.5 billion, dude. Like, you can buy a lot with $1 billion.
Certainly can.
And at what point, what's maybe they do have a price. Who knows?
Hey, who are you there with, Coop? Oh, this is just Victoria Silvstedt, Playmate of the Year, 1997.
Yeah.
Which she was.
Sir, would you like me to suck the chrome off this trailer hitch?
Yes, Jenny McCarthy.
But
yes, no, I totally agree with you on all of that. I like to think that they were just completely taken off guard by what happened, that they didn't know what to do and needed extra time to figure it out, and not that they were pressured by
Paramount. That's the answer I'm hoping for, to be honest. is that they were like,
because
yes, this caught us so off guard because we really weren't like, we didn't hate Charlie Kirk at all. Like, we were just doing a bit, and now we feel like, we don't want people to think like we kind of felt responsible in a way or whatever.
Well, they were
like,
also
whatever
wrongfully linked to saying negative, to painting Charlie in a bad light, but then everybody reshared the footage of Charlie reacting positively to him being featured on the show.
and it wasn't that they didn't do Charlie Kirk dirty. It's not like,
no, not at all.
Charlie Kirk with a tiny penis being like a holier than thou. Like, they did,
and it was Cartman portraying a Charlie Kirk character. It wasn't
like they did Phil Donahue way dirtier in the Easter special.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like when when he tells the Pope to kill Jesus, and he's like, Phil, I don't think that's very Christian.
Yeah.
And he's like,
or Geraldo Rivera, the biggest douche in the universe. What's his John Edwards?
John Edwards, yeah.
They've done so many other people legitimately dirty, and rightfully so.
Britney Spears,
but they didn't do Charlie Kirk dirty at all.
No, so that's why I'm like, nah. But again, you have to wonder like what the climate is out there, like what they're feeling, because they're out in L.A. You know what I mean? La La Land is the king. It's liberal central. And, you got to kind of wonder, like, fuck, like, I just hope and pray nobody got a hold of him. And that, South Park is subsequently Walking Dead, because it's still the greatest show ever to me, no matter what happens from here on out. It is still the greatest show to ever air, because nothing will ever come close to being as funny as South Park was. I'll be watching this when I'm 80. Like, my grandfather used to watch Bugs Bunny cartoons, like, thinking they were fucking hilarious. I'm gonna be like, you guys don't have any fucking idea how funny this shit was. But hopefully by then you'll be able to call people retarded faggots again, because everybody will softened up a little bit, and or loosened up a little bit, I should say, and stop being so fucking soft.
Yes.
But neither here nor there. But speaking of, not to switch gears abruptly, but being soft, ABC, man, you guys are kind of soft. You're kind of soft. You mean like you gave Jimmy Kimmel a paid week off? That's it. I mean,
essentially, that's what they did, and unfortunately, we didn't get enough time for us to talk about the left now saying, our freedom of speech is under attack, because now Jimmy is coming back tomorrow.
Yeah.
When we were being silenced for everything that went against any little thing,
or walking up in a grocery store aisle the wrong way isn't going to kill somebody. Masks don't work. I'm reluctant to take this vaccine because it was produced in a matter of hours, and I don't believe that you guys are actually telling me the truth about it. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. When they banned,
and Roseanne Barr getting fired, and Jimmy Kimmel celebrating it, Tucker Carlson getting fired, Jimmy Kimmel celebrating it. And make no mistake, Jimmy Kimmel was not fired. He was indefinitely suspended, which means it could have lasted a week as it did. It could have lasted less than that. It could have lasted up until his contract is up, I believe, in early 2026.
So his
contract
is up in 2026. I doubt he's going to get renewed.
He's losing the network as much money as Colbert was losing CBS.
It's insane how bad. If you look at I know it was it was a Fox News graphic, so immediately everybody's going to shoot it down and say it's not real. But I don't know anybody that has appreciated Jimmy Kimmel for a long time.
Since the Man Show?
Frank. Yeah, pretty much. Like, when he was dressing up in blackface and doing Karl Malone. I'm Karl Malone. And not to say that, making fun of Karl Malone was a bad thing, because Karl Malone, he raped children.
Yes, he did.
Or had sexual intercourse with children, which is disgusting.
Yeah, he impregnated like a 13-year-old or something.
13 or 14-year-old. Like, yeah,
yeah.
Gross. Yeah, so like, don't get me wrong. Like, you're making fun of Karl Malone. I'm Karl Malone. You're making fun of him being kind of stupid. That's fine. I'm okay with that, especially knowing what I know now. But the thing with Kimmel is he gets suspended indefinitely. The left absolutely loses their fucking tits, and they're like, "This is Trump silencing free speech," and this and that, and I'm like, Trump had nothing to do with this. There was one erroneous report that said that like the chair of the FCC had called ABC and said, if you don't pull him or fire him, like we're going to come after you. And that was like found to be completely false. Like that never happened. But again,
Right.
it was a headline, so the left ran with it because they're like, he's the Gestapo. They're silencing free speech. Like, and they're like, everybody's looking around going like, no, he isn't. What the fuck are you talking about? But again,
he didn't do that. He didn't sign an executive order that would put the government in charge of anything like that, other than the FCC, which does have jurisdiction over Kimmel because it's on broadcast television.
And again,
so same idea is if he was on the radio. He's held to the same standards.
Correct. Like you cannot just go out and peddle. You cannot go out and slander people and lie on federal airwaves. Like you can get your broadcast license pulled for that shit. Like that's. I mean, we learned that in college. Like when we were taking. Like I mean, we learned that in school. Like that was just like because I learned that
in high school in DCTV.
Yeah, I didn't do DCTV when I was in high school, but I'm sure you guys probably learned it then.
We broadcast.
I was a communications major at Bridgewater, and I remember the head of the communications department telling us that Jabbar, like he was a great dude, and he basically was the one that talked me out of doing a career in radio and TV. Not intentionally, he didn't talk like, but he told me how it really is, and I was like, oh, I don't want anything to do with any of that.
Well, that sucks.
Hence why I started my own podcast, because I didn't want to be beholden to anybody. And no matter what, like we just talked about with Matt and Trey for the last half hour, at some point you're going to be beholden to somebody and advertisers and things like that. And so, when you get to this Jimmy Kimmel thing, Jimmy Kimmel goes out and he just straight lies, and he says, he tries to paint this Robinson kid in the light that he's, that he's one of us. He's a MAGA, he's a MAGA, he's a MAGA kid. He's a MAGA kid. Like, Jimmy, no, he wasn't. We've known this for days now, but yet you still come out and say it. So what you're doing is effectively adding fuel to a fire that doesn't need any more fuel. Like you guys always talk about turning down the temp and turning down the rhetoric and all this other shit. And yet here you are still, pushing this fucking narrative that this kid was a MAGA kid. And I'm like, no, he wasn't. So what you did was actually violate the FCC regulations, which could get, if ABC doesn't take action, could get their federal broadcasting license pulled. Now that's like square one. That's square one shit, dude. Like that's day one. You're on TV. You have a certain duty to uphold a certain level of standards, if you will. That's it.
Yes.
That's all it is. Like you have to do certain things in order to maintain so that you.
Yeah, this isn't a live Twitch stream. This is fucking.
Yeah, like and not for nothing, but like you can get banned off of YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, or any of that shit way fucking quicker because they're the ones that decide what they want you to say or not. I mean, they literally banned Joe Rogan for having a guy. Yeah, right. They literally banned Joe Rogan for having the guy who worked on mRNA vaccines for years and was one of the top doctors in the world in his field. And they were like, we don't like what you have to say. Pfizer certainly doesn't like it. Johnson & Johnson doesn't like it. Moderna doesn't like it. You're out of here.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan ended up leaving, moving to Texas, going to Spotify, and all this other shit. Remember all the pressure that they got from like what's his name? Fucking like, was it what was that? Keep on Rocking in the Free World. Neil
Young and
Neil Young.
Yeah.
He
was like, I'm taking all my music off of Spotify, and
Spotify was like, that's cool. You don't own your music, dumbass. Like the record company does, and we're already they're cool with letting us keep it. So thanks.
Yeah,
thanks
and also nobody cares. You haven't been relevant in like 35 years. So
that too. But my thing is this. So with the whole Kimmel thing, he goes on. He says some off the cuff shit. And again, it's abhorrent. It was a lie. And the biggest thing to me was it was a lie. I would have been more okay with him just coming up and being like, Charlie Kirk's a piece of shit, and I don't care that he's dead. Like, to me, that would have been more respectable than lie. But the thing is you can't say that, right? He'll get killed by everybody for saying that. And yet,
But he picked a lie.
But like you chose to lie about it. So now you're opening yourself up for litigation. And ABC has a broadcasting license to protect, and not for nothing, but they've got a lot bigger shit going on than your failing fucking TV show that's not going to get renewed next year. So they really shouldn't have any issue fucking sidelining you and being like, you know what, see you later, dude, we're good. Now,
yeah.
The big news, obviously, today, coming out that he was being reinstated, that his show's back on what, tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow
night. But the Sinclair Media Group, who owns 31 ABC stations across the country, is refusing to air his show.
So they're still refusing.
So the Sinclair Media Group, who is basically, they own the ABC airwaves for 31 of the stations. I don't know how many ABC stations there are, but I know Sinclair owns, I believe that's the majority of them. They're not.
It's a good amount.
They're not going to air Jimmy Kimmel's show. They're going to play something else. So ABC can put that on all they want, but the companies that are broadcasting it, the company that owns the broadcast, is not going to put it on. So until he apologizes, retracts his statement, makes it according to them a sizable donation to Turning Point USA, and offers a sincere apology, and stops lying about shit. So this isn't coming from the FCC. This isn't coming from anything. This is exactly the same shit that we have seen over the last couple of years, where people will report you to your job and they'll say, here's what your employee said on Facebook, and that person will get fired, right? Which is, to me, bullshit. I think I think it should be outlawed that you be terminated, that your livelihood be just ended due to a social media opinion, or an opinion on social media. I think that is the weakest shit in the world. All these companies now have, like, social media clauses in their contracts that, like, blah blah blah. You can't, my favorite thing is that you represent the company 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Oh, that's cool.
No, I don't.
Do you pay me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? No? Guess you should shut the fuck up then. Like, no, I don't.
I'm not on the clock all the time.
I represent
what
you
the fuck are you talking about?
Monday through Friday. I don't represent you on my fucking days off or my time off. That's my time. I can say whatever the hell I want. And I think we need to get rid of that aspect of like this current climate and like what's going on, because I think it's frankly, it's bullshit. It's been bullshit. Kirk and Callahan were kicked off at WEEI because one pissed off guy with a fucking faggot tranny fucking kid decided he didn't like him and wanted him off the air. Happened to be friends with John Henry and Linda Pizzuti, who own the Herald and the Boston Red Sox, and he used his friendship with them to leverage them into getting them kicked off the air and losing their jobs, which I feel was a travesty and should never be allowed to happen. Like, you cannot sit there and say, like, okay, if you don't like somebody or what they have to say, you can change the channel, or you can call in and debate them. Like, that's all there is to it. Those are your two things. By kicking them off the air, all you're doing is you're not proving that they were wrong. You're proving that they were a threat to whatever you were trying to purport.
Absolutely.
So
yes,
I think we need to be done with all that. However, on the flip side of that coin, sorry, I'm going very long-winded here. On the flip side of that coin, we didn't make these rules. The left did. The leftist crybabies started this bullshit and made these rules. It had the right was always like, we were always on the side of, hey, if you don't like it, change the channel. It's as simple as that. They're allowed to say whatever they want. You don't like it, change the channel. Because guess what? You change the channel, their advertisers aren't going to get as many views. Their revenue is going to go down. They're not going to get paid. They're going to lose their job anyway. Vote with your wallet, not with you don't just go out and fire the guy because you don't like what he says. That's bullshit. That's pussy ass fucking bullshit right there.
I agree with that for sure.
Start this shit. We didn't start it. The left started.
not at all.
And now they're getting a taste of their own medicine, especially the last 10, 14 days. Or 10, 11 days, where people are getting fired for the shit they said about Charlie Kirk online. And I'm like, oh, ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun, is it? You know,
Exactly.
And they're trying to blame us like we're the problem. I'm like, no. You motherfuckers started this. You started this trend. You started waging this war. And we always told you back then, don't do that. It's going to come back to bite you. And the left took for granted that the right was never bothered enough to be as vicious as they were. Because the right had real world issues. We have real shit that we deal with every single day. We have real problems that we want to go after and fix. We don't give a flying fuck. We're not emotionally unstable, or I'm sorry, mentally unstable, overly emotional people who get think that using someone's wrong pronouns is the same thing as literal genocide. Okay?
Yeah.
We don't do that. The left took that for granted. And now that the right is fighting back and pushing back, and because they killed one of our own, and now we're going to say, okay, that's how you want to play it? Fuck you. And now, of course, they're taking the victim route, as they always do.
And they took out it went very well said, Joey, there. I appreciate everything you said there.
And one last thing, too,
valid points.
fuck ABC, because they took the path of most victimhood through this whole thing, where Jimmy Kimmel said some fucking repugnant shit about Charlie Kirk, and they pulled him off the air, but they make up this story about Trump's FCC threatening to pull their broadcast license if they didn't. And it's like, you just took the path of the most victimhood in order to get people on your side. Like, fuck you, you pussies. We see straight through you now. Like, you're so transparent and you don't even realize it. Okay, now I'm done.
They absolutely are, and they did try to pull the wool over people's eyes, but thankfully, people like you and I, Joey, we can see through that and recognize it when it's happening and say, no, sir, or ma'am, I do not give you permission to do so. So, regarding what you said there, I am totally on board with goddamn everything you said in that speech. That was very well said.
Thank you. Again, I didn't write that down. That was just off the top. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Those are just
you're not wrong to think that.
Those are just my raw feelings on this whole thing. Because again, it's just I'm just so sick and tired of people getting to play the ignorance card, when it comes to certain things, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, well, I'm the victim here because you were mean about it, or you were too aggressive about it. Why do you have to be so aggressive in your explanation? Like, I'm sorry, like, because I expect you, I hold you to a higher standard than apparently you hold yourself. Maybe that's my mistake. I don't know. But when I talk to people who I assume are decent human beings or have more than 6 fucking functioning brain cells, I expect you to be able to at least think on my level.
At least be able to hold a conversation, and if you have a valid point to make, try to do it succinctly and
correct.
Spoken like another human being to another human being, and not in an angry and confrontational way.
Right.
Yeah, just try to have a goddamn conversation. Is that too much to ask? Apparently it is. In some cases, because, that's the precedent that was set by these. Anybody that is left of fucking Joseph Stalin is basically Hitler. So, to them, you cannot go anywhere and not be referred to as such.
I mean, half of these people are left of Lenin at this point. Like, it's insane. Like, they don't even realize it. And I think that's the fucking problem. Is that I got accused last week by somebody. I was going back and forth with somebody about Charlie Kirk, and I got accused, and he said one of his points was like, well, I guess we both just live in our own little echo chambers. And I'm like, echo chamber? What the fuck you talking about, echo chamber, bro? I'm like, you might live in an echo chamber, but in case you haven't noticed, like, I don't block or unfriend anybody, and I engage everybody, especially people on the left. So I am exposed to leftist ideas every single day. I don't watch The View because I like it. I watch it because I want to know what they're saying. I don't watch CNN or Jessica Tarlov on Fox News because I like them. I watch it because I want to know what they're saying. I don't watch, follow Occupy Democrats or any of these other things from afar because I'm interested in what they have to say. I want to know what I am interested in what they have to say. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know what their thought process is so that I can better combat it down the road. Whereas people
and then you have an informed opinion on what they're saying too.
Exactly. How can
Which
you,
is the
you
point.
know, Sun Tzu, know thy enemy. Like the art of war, sir. Like it's fascinating to me that people will willingly X out people of their lives that they don't agree with politically or ideologically because they just like, I just can't do it with you anymore. I just can't do it. Well, why is that? And it's because their egos are so fragile and so overgrown that as soon as somebody comes up to them, they're like these thin glass bubbles, right? And you just walk up to it with a little tiny ball pin hammer and you give it one little tap and their whole world shatters.
And that one little end of the ball peen hammer.
Yes. And like that one little tap, all it has to be is what reproductive rights have you lost under Donald Trump? And they'll lose their shit. Because they repealed Roe v. Wade, and it's about reproductive rights. Like, no, the fuck it isn't. Like, have you ever read a book? I don't think you have. And I've said it before. Like, if I hear one more person fucking like talk about like, climate change, and they're like, and they make fun of Trump when he's like, oh yeah, he said he's gonna rake the forest. Like, what are you gonna do? Go out there with some gnomes and get some rakes? Like, no.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before at length.
Raking the forest is a very real fucking thing. Read a book.
Yes.
Like maybe I'm sorry. I paid attention when Smokey the fucking Bear came to my school in 5th grade and talked about forest, how to prevent forest fires. Sorry, you were too busy fucking off, sticking your dick in the pencil sharpener or whatever the fuck you were doing, you loser. But like,
yeah, you ever have a fucking bear show up and tell you not to put out cigarettes in the woods?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ.
I don't think you have.
This isn't rocket appliances, boys, okay? I know it's all water under the fridge, but whatever. But no.
Sounds like Mr. Butler.
Ricky-isms. Was Mr. Butler Canadian? Was he?
I wouldn't put it.
Wasn't he Nova Scotian?
I could totally see him being Nova Scotian, or at least like maybe a Newfie like you.
Yeah, which would make total fucking sense because he did say shit like that. I wonder if he was. God damn, how would we find that out? I might have to text Mr. McGonagall later.
That piece of shit. I mean, old drunk Jim?
I like Jim. Jim's not a bad guy. His politics are completely fucked, and but he's not a bad dude.
He's a retard, but he's not a bad guy.
Yeah,
what you say.
Exactly. He's a guy with bad ideas. You know what I'm saying? He's not a bad guy with ideas.
Okay. I can't agree with. Yeah, I don't think he's a bad person. I just
I like Jim. Jim. I got it. Like I said, I got to give him credit. He has got some of the thickest skin on Facebook. I've gone about as hard at him as I've gone at anybody on Facebook ever, and he still maintains his. He still has never hit the unfriend or block button on me, and for that, I respect it. He is.
Yeah,
he fight.
He takes it on the chin. Like a champ.
I've heard from some very good sources. The man can fucking handle his alcohol. He can drink. So, which is no surprise. We're Irish. It's what we do. You know what I mean? But we get drunk and fight. That's what Irish do.
Well, I'll tell you a chronicle of James McGonagall.
But I like Jimmy. Jimmy's all right. He's not a bad guy. Like I said, I mean, I don't know if I'd want him teaching my kids. As long as he keeps his politics out of the classroom, I'm good. Because he is a good teacher other than that. But nonetheless, neither here nor there. I don't have to worry about it because I don't have kids. But, it is what it be.
Same. Yes. But hey.
Anyway, to put a happy little red bow on this whole Kimmel thing, I think we really need to get past this whole, like, let's fire everybody who we don't agree with. And gang up on one person because they have a shitty opinion and rid them of their livelihood. Like, just because someone has a shitty opinion or says something doesn't mean that they should just automatically be pulled and like, nope, you don't get it. You don't get to have that job anymore. Like, why? Why? Because you didn't like what I have to say? Like, come on and combat me about it. Come on and say something about it. You know, I want to get back more to a country where we can fight with words, and the people that lose are discredited from then on out. You know what I mean? Like, if I go toe to toe with Shank Younger from the Young Turks, and I whoop his ass in a debate, okay, fine. I don't think Shank should have to lose his job, or he can go on and talk shit about me or whatever. Like, I don't think he should lose his job. But if it turns, a couple 100,000 people off from his channel, then I won. Then he's going to lose his job eventually. Let nature take its course. Stop trying to force it.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but I also am not losing any sleep over people losing their job for saying horrible things regarding Charlie Kirk.
I'm not either, because again, Trav,
because
like I said,
as you said, they created this.
We didn't make the bed. Okay, we're just making them lay in it. What was it, Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals? Make them play by their own rules. That's
all that we're doing, and
that's it.
I don't think it's great either, but I'm also, I'm pretty indifferent towards it. I'm not celebrating it, but I'm also not booing it.
I'm certainly not celebrating it. I am booing it to a degree, because again, I don't think someone should have to go to work and find out they're being fired over some bullshit they said off the cuff on social media that some little dick pussy fucking screenshotted and sent into their HR department.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
But I just think that's how I was fired from a job. So
yeah, and again, I didn't make these rules. We're just making you guys play by them now. So now that you guys have had to play by them, can we all agree that this is kind of fucking dumb and nobody really wants to play this game anymore? And let's just go back to being adults. And when somebody says something we don't like, we block them on Facebook, or we unfriend them, or we mute them, or whatever, or we just turn the page, or we change the channel, or whatever it is. I don't think it's that hard. And I don't think that's something that not a lot of people could get behind either. Because again, nobody wants to say something, because sometimes you might say something on social media, you don't even realize it's bad, or it might not even be that bad. But one person decides it's that bad, and then them and all 100,000 of their fucking legion of fucking loser followers jump on it, and next thing you know, your job's like, well, dude, we can't keep you, bro. This is too much pressure for us. You're losing us money. And again, as an employee of a place, your place should be making you money. I get that. But again, you don't pay me 24/7, so I shouldn't have to represent you 24/7. We should be able to draw a distinction there. Now, if I post it while I'm at work on the clock, hey, fair game. But if I post it on Saturday afternoon at fucking 3:00, and I say the University of Alabama is only retarded inbred faggots attend that school. And okay, what does that have to do with my day job? You know what I mean? What does that have to do with my day job? If I say UNLV, they are all those students are products of parents who live in the hills, have eyes. Whatever, dude. It shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. And again, I don't agree with anything that these people said about Charlie Kirk. I don't agree with them tap dancing on his grave literally the minute it fucking happened. I think it's abhorrent. It's disgusting. It's barbaric. And a lot of those people, and what's funny is a lot of those people, they're like, oh, violence is funny today. And I'm like, yeah, violence is funny today. But when I see you in the supermarket, all of a sudden violence isn't funny when you're standing face to face with me. All of a sudden you're going you know what? I don't really care for violence that much. And you're like, I'm like, yeah, I bet you don't. Because you didn't know you were going to run into a 6'3", 320-pound gorilla that can dismember you. And then, and God forbid, I have other ways of ending your bloodline as well. So don't fuck off.
Take your pick.
Fuck around, find out. I hate that phrase. I think it's so overused now. I'm fucking gay as fuck. But,
yes, it is.
But that's the game you're playing, and that's the shit you want to talk. You want to be about it, be about it. You know, I come from the school of, somebody says something like, oh, I heard you said this. I'm like, yo, man, whatever they said, I said it. All right, like that. Let's go. What are we gonna do about it? Oh no, it's not like that.
Arthur Ave, Eric Road, which one?
Yeah. Oh, suddenly it's not like that. Okay. Well, then you ain't about it. So shut the fuck up. Because I know some motherfuckers that are. You know, like I got some friends, man. And
Corn Pop.
yeah, I got some corn pops. You know, I know them. You know, I know them. I know where they live, and they know where I live too. But we boys, so it's cool. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's good. But no, people need to get off of that shit. Like we've got to get away from the whole fucking firing people for the shit they say online, especially like when you're not on the clock. I don't subscribe to that. You represent this company, this agency, this whatever, 24/7. Even though you're not, technically on the clock. No, I don't. No, I don't. You don't pay me 24/7. I don't represent you 24/7. We can make a distinction here. We're all adults. We can all separate the art from the artist, if you will, and we can all go about our lives. Just because, somebody could be the greatest ER nurse in the world. Just because she was or he was stoked that Charlie Kirk got shot. If I need an emergency tracheotomy, I probably want that person doing it regardless of what their political beliefs are. Because at the end of the day, most people in the moment aren't going to be like, ooh, did this guy support Trump or Charlie Kirk? Oh, he did? Well, I'm going to hack this up so he dies. Like, they're not doing that. These are professionals for the most part. They're all doing their jobs, whatever. I mean, I
agree with you on that.
I just think it's fucking retarded.
I think the possibilities there, but it actually happening all that often would be like very, very low, if at all.
You would have to find you would have to really, really dig deep. And not for nothing, but even if you're in a hospital bed and a nurse is taking care of you, like what's she gonna do? Google you on Facebook? Look up your Facebook, look up your social media, and be like, what level of care do I want to give this guy? Because the second she doesn't give you the proper care, she's fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's gonna lose her job. So you hope it doesn't result in you dying, but at the same time,
well, yeah, you have to catch it early and then make sure you fucking report it too.
Yeah, right. Well, that too, but what do we call it? Was it intentional indifference or whatever it is that they worded it at work, where if I walk up to if I go to give life-saving procedures, which I had to do this week, to an individual and I half-ass it, they call it deliberate indifference. And if I go there and I'm just going through the motions, being looking for the camera, I can get fucked for that. They can get me on deliberate indifference. I can get fired for that.
Yes.
So you can't even do that. So I think when it comes down to it at the end of the day, and I'll leave it at this, and we can get out of here because I got a race to run here in a minute. But it has been a great show. I want to say thank you, and you let me talk a bunch tonight, and I apologize because I feel like I've kind of run over you a shit ton. I've been I've had this all pent up all week, and I've been waiting to do this show all week, and because shit's been pissing me off. But I think we just need to get away from the nonsense. Like, if you want to turn down the temperature, all right, fine. Turn down the temperature. Stop fucking reporting people because they don't use pronouns. Stop reporting people for not wearing masks. Stop trying to get everybody fired from their fucking job. And this is more of a call to employers than anything else. Stop listening to these fucking lunatics. They're not your customers anyway. 9 out of 10 times, they're not giving you anything you want regardless. So fucking tell them to go fuck off. If the NFL could tell everybody in the world to go fuck off tomorrow, and guess what? They're still going to tune into the games on Sunday. If you have something people want and need, they're going to come for it. Period. End of story. So stop fucking treating people like they're pieces of shit and firing them. And this goes for, again, we didn't make the rules.
No, we didn't.
So anyway, I'll leave it at that because I feel like I'm just being redundant now. But yeah.
No, very well made points there, Joey. Couldn't say I agree more with you on that, really, to be honest. Yeah, I have no holes to poke in that.
Well, I mean, I think anybody with half a fucking brain and, like I said, six functioning brain cells can probably all come to that same logical conclusion. You know,
Yeah, as
but
long
the
as you
left,
got like a few wrinkles in your brain.
yeah. But when you get the hyper emotional leftists involved, that's when things start to kind of come off the rails. So we'll work on that. That'll be our next phase of this campaign. Is okay. Let's stop getting people fired. Now let's figure out how to deprogram these leftists from being so fucking hyper emotional and empathetic to the point of suicide. I mean, we should definitely talk about Great Britain next week and what's going on over there in Minnesota and everything else.
Absolutely. We will dig into that in 2 weeks, folks.
Yes, taking next week off. Broncos got a Monday Night Football game next week, so I can't. I need to be locked in because you know how it goes. If I'm not watching the Broncos, they lose. Now that has.
Have you not watched any of the games?
Or has not worked out for me the last 2 weeks. However, if I don't watch, they're definitely going to lose. If I do watch, there's a chance they could win. So that's the way I look at it. But
well, I had to. I watched the Patriots game yesterday where I watched the Patriots beat the Patriots while facing the Steelers.
Yes, I watched. Well, that's funny because I watched the Broncos beat themselves 2 weeks in a row too. So, it's good. But to all the people that were low on the Patriots coming in, I told you, Patriots are a better team than people think, and they're super low on them right now. But listen, they're a 9-10 win team this year. Watch, just let it play out. Watch.
I think they made all the right moves in the offseason, and everything just needs to gel together. I didn't expect anything huge out of them this year, but
it takes time.
But I am hyped for them for the first time since Brady left, really.
I know. I think that's been my problem the last 2 weeks too. Is like I've reverted back to my old ways of like breaking things when the Broncos lose, especially when it's like at the gun and heartbreaking fashion as it has been. And I'm like, why am I doing? My wife's like, what the fuck? She's like, you haven't done this in 10 years. I'm like, I know, because I haven't had expectations in 10 years. Like my expectations have been down here. Now my expectations are up here, and they're not meeting them, and it's pissing me off. So,
are your neighbors thinking like, hey? Every Sunday during football season, it's like a fucking Greek wedding over there.
Yeah,
he's like smashing plates and shit.
I bury myself in the basement so that way nobody can hear me.
Okay, so you at least have some insulation with the earth around it.
Yes. So, but anyway, the Patriots will be fine. Tune into Row 1 Seat 1 tomorrow night on the Bedford Guide if you want more Patriots talk from me. And Sean will be joining me tomorrow night, as always.
Yes, do check that out, folks. Row 1 Seat 1, great show.
Been a good show tonight. Glad we did this. Loved it. It was
likewise,
fun.
brother.
Thank you.
As always, yes. Thank you guys for watching, and until 2 weeks from now, hope you all have a good one.
All right, guys. Peace out. Thank you for listening.
Later.